Soundtracks. A beautiful art that, along with the great releases of movies, seems to be forgotten or ignored nowadays. After all, who doesn't remember the great classic songs that are so memorable that we remember more the music than the movie? Especially in the 80s and 90s. Take My Breath Away from Top Gun, Ghostbusters from Ghostbusters, Eye of the Tiger from Rocky 3, I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard, Gangsta's Paradise from Dangerous Minds, My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. Anyway, I could say millions of soundtracks that are unforgettable, but the greatest of them all is from a great big movie called Godzilla, with great songs like Heroes, a version from David Bowie played by the Wallflowers, and we also have Jamiroquai, Puff Daddy in the soundtrack, and in this case it's actually better to remember just the soundtrack and not the movie itself. Anyway, soundtracks is something that I have a passion, but in this channel we talk about trash movies, so let's talk about horror movie soundtracks. Hello, my name is Gus and I love movies and trash movies especially more than anybody that I consider normal in this world. And I also love to talk about soundtracks of movies, but today this is a forgotten topic since people don't remember anymore the great soundtracks that came with the great movies of the past. Because besides promote the movie, it also promotes the band or the artist with the song. I used to love to listen to the songs and read the lyrics to actually make a connection between the lyrics and the themes, the moods, the story of the movies. For example, in this channel I love to talk about Batman, and any excuse I can find to throw the Batman subject into the video, I do it. And the first 4 Batman movies that came between 89 and 97 had great soundtracks. The first Batman from 89 had Prince doing all the songs of the album. Then in Batman Returns you had Siouxsie and the Banshees doing the music Face to Face, my favorite one. In Batman Forever you had A Kiss from a Rose from Seal and Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me from U2. And the 4th movie, which was the worst one, had probably the best soundtrack of them all, with Smashing Pumpkins with the music The End is the Beginning is the End, Goo Goo Dolls with Lazy Eye, and Jewel with Foolish Games. But in 2005, with the release of the reboot of the series Batman Begins, this tradition didn't continue. And I can see the director of the movie, Christopher Nolan, talking with some Warner executives and realizing that since the franchise became so serious in tone and mood, the whole soundtrack thing didn't fit anymore. Damn Nolan. But besides liking soundtracks in general, I have a great weak spot from soundtracks of horror movies. Especially if it is a melodic rock song that somehow doesn't fit very well with the mood of the horror movies. And I think my fascination with the soundtracks started in the Scream franchise in the 90s, because besides that franchise had my all-time crush of my life, Sidney Prescott, each movie had a very special soundtrack along with the release. In the album of the first Scream movie, you had the music Red Right Hand from Nick Cave. In Scream 3, you had the music What If from Creed, and Sunburn from the band Fuel. In Scream 4, you had the song Bad Karma from the singer Ida Maria. But my favorite song from the whole franchise comes from Scream 2 that I purposely skipped. The song She Said from Collective Souls, a very melodic rock song that is my cup of tea. And the other teenage horror movies from this era that came along with the boom of Scream, for example, I Know What You Did Last Summer, also had great soundtracks. You had the song Hush from the band Cooler Shaker. In The Faculty from the director Robert Rodriguez, you had the songs Another Brick in the Wall, a version from Pink Floyd from the band Class of 99, and a melodic rock song with It's Over Now from the band Nev. And another melodic rock song that I used to love is Got You Where I Want You from the band The Flies, that it was from another movie, Disturbing Behavior. Outside this category, we had some songs that weren't part of big franchise movies. The movie Nightbreed, written and directed by Clive Barker, the creator of Hellraiser, had the song Nightbreed from Oingo Boingo, the band that had the lead singer Danny Elfman, a guy who became a composer of many great movies from Tim Burton. The Return of the Living Dead had Flash to Flash from Joe Lamont. One of the greatest trash movies from the 80s, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, had the song Killer Clowns from Outer Space from the band The Dickies. And that song was very fun, especially because it has some guitar riffs that emulate circus music. But the king movies that had great soundtracks in the 80s were, first of all, The Lost Boys, with the song Cry Little Sister from Gerald McKenna, and I Still Believe from Tim Campello, the great muscled guy that shows up in the movie singing with his saxophone and his body all covered in oil. And that is the same guy that shows up in the Tina Turner music video, We Don't Need Another Hero from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, with the same saxophone and the same body oil. And the other movie that is not so memorable, but this song is one of the most memorable, is Pet Sematary, with the song Pet Sematary from Ramones. A music that, besides being perfect, the music video is amazing, with the dead people walking all across a graveyard in a great party with Ramones. And again, the tone of the song has nothing to do with the tone of the movie, which brought the great irony that I mentioned before. And also we love Joey Ramone say, "Oh no," repeated times in the song, along with repeated takes on the music video. And that is something to be said about the soundtracks. A movie that came with a great soundtrack was good, but a movie that came with a soundtrack that had a great music video was perfect. Which brings us to the great icons of slasher, starting with Hellraiser, that had the music Hellraiser from Motorhead and a kick-ass amazing music video, which we had the vocals of the band playing cards with Pinhead himself, played by Doug Bradley, the same actor who plays him in the movies. And the music video itself is very well produced, with the lighting, the fire, the hell, the monsters, everything. And by the way, that is from the movie Hellraiser 3 actually, Hellraiser Hell on Earth, which is a very fun movie as well. From Pinhead we go to Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise, which itself doesn't have many good soundtracks. But I do remember that Halloween H2O, that is the 7th movie of the franchise, had a Creed song, What There's Life For. Sorry, I overreacted. But the best song comes from the previous movie, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, that has the song Full Shine On from the band Brother Kane. Going from one silent slasher to the other, the Friday the 13th franchise with Jason. Going backwards, we have Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Strikes Manhattan, which has the song Dark Side of the Night from the band Metropolis. Then in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, we have probably the most famous song of the whole franchise, With His Back, the band behind the mask from Alice Cooper. But the song that I really love is in Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Alright. With the song Love Is Alive from the band Lion, which gave us one of the best dancing moments in the history of cinema with the actor Crispin Glover from Back to the Future. Then we go to the slasher that I think is the king of soundtracks in his movies. Starting with the song that I think is the most famous in the whole franchise. In the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, we have the song Dream Warriors from the band Dokken. And the music video is great, with a montage from the guys in the band walking right into the movie. We also have Freddy himself waking up from a nightmare in the end of the video and asking,
What a nightmare! Who were those guys?
And in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Master, we have a song called Nightmare from the singer Tuesday Knight. Tuesday Knight, there was an actress in the movie herself, one of the girls that is killed by Freddy. Then in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, Freddy's Dead. Alright. We had the song I'm Awake Now from the band Goo Goo Dolls. There they are again. Way before they had a great hit with the song Iris from the movie City of Angels. But I think the best song from the whole franchise, the most perfect, the most phenomenal, is the song A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, from the band Romeo's Daughter with the song Heaven on the Backseat. Look at this video. Look at these guys. Each one is more stylish than the other. And the lead singer Lynn Matty is nothing more than perfection. Which begs the question, where are the great soundtracks nowadays? What happened with the movies that they don't have these soundtracks coming along with their releases? Was it the downfall of MTV that promoted these songs and the movies together? Was it the serious tones that most movies nowadays adopted and somehow made the producers think, this whole soundtrack idea doesn't fit anymore? Well, we can only speculate, but I read a very interesting article yesterday that mentions some probable ideas for why this happened. It talks about the end of the 90s, where most of the soundtracks, especially from big movies, always had a big single song that was from a more famous artist, that was the main song of the album, and the other songs were more random just to fill the whole collection. That caused the audience to lose interest in buying these albums, which caused a downfall in the sales. It even mentions the example of Spider-Man 2, which was a great box office success, but the soundtrack was not very well sold. Then you add the fact that the studios always saw soundtracks more as a complementary profit along with the movie, that is the main product, and the increase in the budget of movies nowadays, especially on big franchises. Sometimes you have 200 million being spent, 300 million being spent. Not only the increase in the value of the productions, but the increase in the value of licensing songs from artists. But anyway, these are just possible factors and not a general explanation. The article itself says that it's very difficult to pinpoint what is the main reason for the lack of movie soundtracks nowadays. And that is very sad for a spectator like myself, who loves to watch a movie not just to consume a product, but to live an experience. So all that we have left is to remember this idea of the great classic movie soundtracks from the past. But before the end of this video, I couldn't live without a suggestion of a great trash movie that has one of the best soundtracks that I've ever seen. And I mentioned this movie in my last video about crossovers. I'm gonna leave the link here for you to watch. And it's from the movie Bad Channels from 1992. A movie that is from the studio Full Moon Pictures, a studio that produces trash movies. This movie is about aliens that come down to Earth in a radio station to kidnap girls from the city through radio signal. So they play rock songs to kinda seduce the girls in the city and kidnap them for their experiments. And these rock songs are effing amazing, because they have the real bands playing them in the movie like music videos. Which kind of makes the movie feel like a musical of trash rock. Among them you have the songs Blind Faith from the band Wrong Kills Fair Game and Touching Myself Again from Blue Oyster Cult, a very famous band. And the best thing about these music videos in the movie is that they give it a lot of excitement and make all the girl characters in the cast dance like crazy. What else do you need? And this is my list of horror trash soundtracks that I love. If you like this video, please leave a like in the button below and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more and more pure and beautiful trash to your life. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next Trashing It with Gus, and bye bye.